So here we are today for the first live stream solo of this channel. I hope everybody is doing well. How's the audio? Today we have Rodley here in the chat. How are you doing, sweetheart? Everything fine? And like I said, this is going to be a fun experience since everything in my studio have to fall down. And today we have also here Santa Muerte for this live stream. I was actually quite sure nobody would show up, but seemingly I was wrong, and here we go. So thank you everybody for coming. And good day, Fred Bisnet. I hope I pronounced it right. It's a little bit difficult, but good day to see you in here. Let's see how many others are gonna come. And then we're gonna maybe start to introduce myself and a little bit what I do, because I want to tell you actually why I was so sure nobody will show up. Because as I mentioned in different video, I think mainly into the origins, Imperial Ghost, the origins. When Spirit suggested me to bring together these two cultures, which is the motorcycle culture and the occult culture, so bringing them together into a world personal practice, which at that point wasn't even thought to translate into a business adventure or even a thought about that, I couldn't find any material or anyone out there, nor in places where I will go, actually people that will do this. It was usually just somebody that was into a culture rather than in the other. Until this lady right here says, well, you probably are not going to be the only one out there having this problem. You don't know. Usually, let's just say there is this agreement, or for what was my understanding in the past, that talkings in front of cameras with journalists or any type of media, it was a big no, or you weren't supposed to either talk about this. And so I was like, let's just share my experience and let's see where it goes from there, how many people can help if somebody else is coming into. And I think that nowadays, at least for staying to the news here in Finland, it is so important to helping people understanding the actually potential and the richness of the culture. So that is the MC culture. And looking at it also through the lenses of the spiritual power too that it holds, that it can be paragonate, I would say, to that of a tiger, to that of a beast sort of walking into the savannah. No, because a lot of time, even authorities fail to understand that it's not about violence. It's not about what we see in movies, what we see into Hollywood's upbringing. And the news themselves, usually they don't focus mainly on the good points. They have to create sensational experiences because they are the medias, they are the news. And so right now there is a talking to trying to shut down the world culture, at least in here, and seemingly also in other places in the world. And I do think that this would be a terrible loss. Because itself, when this nice lady here, want to say hi, just say hi to everybody. Yeah. Suggested actually to start to learn. One of the first thing that I asked her was, okay, what are the core values that I can take from the MC culture and apply it to the occult culture? Well, the first one was the importance of developing an extremely strong self-discovering, and so also paying extremely attention to everything that goes into what we could call our great work, What do we mean for great work, in case there is somebody that might not know what we're talking about and this sounds completely gibberish? I will say that the great work, we can look at it as a box where we feel inside everything that we think is going to have an impact on our practice, our own inner self, and it's going to bring us far into life and it's going to make our life better. If you have watched the videos before, we talk a lot about the importance also to develop the understanding of not rushing through this process. Because when I came into the MC culture, I was looking at it merely from the occult perspective. So everything was new, and I was just making the mistake to look at it as just something external, something that would have never gone into my own personal work, which couldn't be more far from the truth. And in the moment in which I decided to challenge myself and say, let's start from zero, which, fun fact, since we all love also numerology, we love jewels, the number zero was a point that really told to me, just go for it. Because starting from zero, which was actually a mathematical number that grounded completely the concept of abstract things, of abstract talking, abstract work, working, philosophy, bringing down, creating new philosophy, and then understanding out from zero in a field that, in case of the mathematical, was pretty much earthly grounded. And that it completely allowed me to just sit down on my chair, on an altar. Now you cannot see because this beautiful lady is covering it. Can we actually show it somehow? Let me see if I can do it, guys. Sorry, this is gonna be awkward. Right there, right there. Isn't it funny when the camera is not on place? So right there, and allowed me to completely go through a transformation from zero to hero. Hello, Moontan. I'm so happy that you came to the live stream. Please take your time if you're on a call. It's okay. We're not going anyway. And hello, Faya Pezzo. You say, congratulations for your first live stream. Hello, Violet Gataway. So we have also joined in the chat. Now I'm really surprised for how many people are coming. You're literally blowing away my mind. I'm so proud of all you guys for the trust. And actually, Faya Pezzo, sorry if I mispronounced it. I'm really, really bad at name. Was one that was extremely excited about this channel existing. So actually, one of your comments under the collaboration with really made my day. It was like, yes, I did something good for one person. Yes, I did it. Yes, I did something good. Let's normalize also small winning, big winning. So like we will say, I started from zero. And I look at myself as, okay, let's have a role play. Well, starting from zero, I have myself, have you seen probably in pictures, occult too. So let's bring some, how can I say? I wouldn't say the deific mask. I wouldn't say call that. It's a term that sounds a little bit wrong in the case of a vest, which is pretty much what I'm wearing today. It's my own vest. We get it more on the camera. It's nothing special. You are not seeing patches on this related to the ANSI culture, because let's just say that the patches in there has to be earned. So when I started from zero as Imperial Ghost, which was a name suggested by King Belial, Asmodeus, and Santa Muerte due to their ranking in their culture. Now we know, for those in the occult and those that are not, be this new knowledge to you. Asmodeus and Belial be basically kings. So hire people. So we can say like hire people into club structures, I will say. And Santa Marta herself, which is a full Catholic saint, is a queen. So from there it comes imperial ghost, imperial ghost. With an S behind it, that it's just silent, like the D in Django, for who have seen that marvelous movie. So starting acting alone, what really changed my mind and the quality of my great work was to actually put on a vest and came up with a gear. So something that will help me to ground visually and also mentally the spirit the spirit of the practice that I will be developing. So it took me as fun and also that far into learning how to write down with gloves, do channeling with gloves, doing automatic writing. Because like I was replying recently to somebody in the comments, one thing is when you start from zero, but still following the canonic ways. What does it mean, canonic ways? So, how it has been passed down to us. So, the famous take history and study it and practice it and see if it works until it gets to you. Like, was one of marvelous lessons that I learned from Mike Tyson, which has been connected to the culture that helped also to, influence the channel. Please don't turn on this live stream and the chat into a fight about the Netflix even. Let's just leave that outside for other channels. We're not gonna do that today. And so it really challenged me into thinking. And unfortunately, in the moment in which seemingly the channel and this content started to wake up people, like, oh, so actually this could be a thing. Even if the video, they didn't have immediately any super strong visualization. I was like, let's just go with the knowledge and let's see how it goes. And myself, I told, let's just make content that probably has an external person I will love to see that actually can help. So even in the video that was called Hang Around for Spirits, I actually went through all that process and used that knowledge that came out from the mini tarot reading that I pulled into it, because it was very strange. The spirits, they had their own understanding of the value of the culture, which are brotherhood, camaraderie, a sense of exclusiveness and closeness, while still of being respected. We're grounded, and still having to learn. So requiring you to become some kind of ultimate present yin build up guy, which is not that easy as it might sound. Let's just normalize that changing a practice and just immediately not doing that well as we thought, it's actually a normal thing. It's a challenge. And I do believe that we are here practicing in order to helping people. Sorry, let me see what's happening over there. The camera, great work, Alice. Let me see. Is new. Yeah, the camera, it looks good. It looks good on my screen, actually. It shows. Did you have to lose your hat now? Haven't we had a talk about this? Not losing the hat on streaming. The camera actually, it's new. The quality, it's very good. Just, every time that I'm actually recording videos, be it pre-recorded and normal, be it intentional and chaotic and possibly inspiring like this, because let me tell you this, Italians just love to talk. We could actually go along, and we are very chaotic in our culture itself. Even when I'm talking to people about serious things, into clubs and all, it always up that I do a mix and match that it's unique to itself. And it sounds a little bit like a conversation that could come out from Bulldog Saints. There was actually one of the guy at the bar that was mix and matching, and somebody said, "This mix and match of yours has to go." For Italians, it's actually not normal. And Fire Pezel says, "I like motorcycle. I ride. I ride like the occult. I like the occult, and I study Swedish and Finnish. Så yes, tack så mycket för att komma här. Tack så mycket. Jag kan prata lite svenska, men not so mycket. So I just basically thanked him for coming on the channel in Swedish and told him that my Swedish is not that good as much as my Finnish. So be also this was actually a surprise, also seeing that in a country like Finland, which is very known to be, I wouldn't say adversarial, but very challenging, very cold, to find a culture that is so inclusive, even more, I will say, from the occult, and that be so grounded that it actually didn't originate here. For those that don't know and haven't watched What's a 1%er, What's a 1%er, which the culture originated actually in Americas when the EMA, American Motorcycle Association, was created. So it was so interesting at the beginning, my first year, starting to see all this vast with different logos and get a glimpse of, oh, actually, this is something that in my native country I didn't have. So let's just say that it felt really like since the beginning, spirits will just announce this is something that is going to come to be lately. You will get the memo. Some of us get the memo on time, other times we don't get it at all. Yes, I do know. It took me some times. Yes, I'm very sorry. I deeply. I will never ever doubt about you. So let me see. Motorcycle is always around when I was there. It is a strong bond, and let me tell you this. Even just when I was, let's say, into the armchair phase, or we can say to the bar stool chair phase, since technically my altar, it was made and created for be a bar table for somebody, and it just didn't turn it out. The culture itself of blended with the occult forced me to see the entities and spirits that I was working with, be it for a long time. So in a sense, more for those like Santa Muerte, Griselda Blanco, and others that they are not active, for example, like Belial and Asmodeus, but they are always around. Literally, I had a lot of energy messing around with technology. My phone, that's called object with their name. My microphone falling down, another starting right when I say, guys, please don't make me having any bloopers. Here you have the bloopers in honor of the last one. And it was really leads to switch that mentality from I'm actually pitching just spirits and nothing more to I'm actually pitching brothers and sisters that are for the long run. So seeing them and trick my brain into see them as a sort of collapse and a sort of club going. So basically it just created and enhanced the relationship that I had with them, bringing it to be more grounded and more actually open to learn from them and to develop a sense of respect. And I'm not saying that the occult culture didn't give me any basics about spirit approaching, be nice, be polite, don't throw tantrums, but those are basic guidelines that even if you throw a tantrum, It might something happens to you, but I wouldn't say that is so heavily something that you want to think about as much, based on the type of mistakes that you could do into the MC culture. So in there, I was really, I found really myself in having to think all the time, also with spirits. Oh, I probably should have done that, and learning also to come very humble to them. And the phase of hang around, so as a new magician jumping into the MC occult culture, we could call it like this brutally said. Probably it's not even a term now, be it a term, at least for this channel and this live stream. So, and it really early put me into the mindset when I went through that phase with Griselda to actually learn to bottom up my own voice, which doesn't mean that I wasn't thinking for myself, because quite I was, but I really went through like, I wanna learn, let's say, that metaphorical patch, metaphorical trust and bond that going through the process from hang around, prospect, and if you make it till become a member, I wanted to have it. And Spirit 2 were like, this is non-negotiable. With a type of uncanonic practice like this, because it is uncanonic. So uncanonic, it means you are completely alone with your psychic abilities into developing and channeling down and building up your own work as a magician. So, and it is very difficult also in terms of energy, keeping up with it, because you really don't know exactly what is going to work, what is not going to work. So you will have to really early channel down energetically how to go through every test, because the MC culture really brought into my occult one a huge amount of pressure. And having always spirits to look at me intensely, like, a tiger will do one moment before to strike on the prey. And so having to learn immediately to build very fast positive replies and inspiring one, keeping it going. And when did you learn? Let's just a moment, because my chat, it's fine. When did you learn to, sorry guys, because my camera is, when did you learn to ride a motorcycle? So I started a little bit to learn how to drive the motorcycle last year. It's not that it wasn't a project of my own, it was, but I come from a very strict family, Italian family. So in my country, the concept of be into lifestyles and philosophy, like the MC culture, it's a big no, even socially, and it can give a lot of troubles with people. So thanks finally having a partner that was into the life, and that I could actually live to be myself fully. I was able to finally get the motorcycle. So I started to learn a little bit how to drive it and how, to balance, because my motorcycle, I haven't read it anywhere what it is. It is actually a Yamaha FJ 1200. So it's a very big bike, and by itself, it falls under the category of very heavy one. It's always, I think it's all over 200 kilos. So it was good, It isn't my fault. I'm the one that actually refused to drive a bike for women, a light bike. Spirit 2, we're like, yeah, we really don't have it with those micro muscles of yours that you have, because yes, micro muscles are a thing too. And unfortunately, I didn't got to go through the whole training because also immigration changed the laws for be able to remain in the culture very into the country very long. So I just had to put my training into pause. It was due to having to apply for the citizenship. Fire appears at F8000. Respect for your first. Yes, I actually, funny thing, when I say don't throw tantrums to spirits, be polite, and also develop a sense of supportive the energy around you, be it with spirit, and that also gets those that are with you. One of the basic core lessons was also to lift up the brothers into your life, the people that are a friend, that are friends of yours, that they are partner. This happened. I literally woke with my gear on, holding my Santa Muerte because I was actually filming a very old trying to make a video for YouTube that never made it to the channel, and I'm so happy that it didn't made it. It was really a lot. Let's just say that sometimes your brightest idea are brightest until they are in your brain, and then when they are out, they are just like, yeah. I hope I didn't do that. And I was so secure by even what Spirit said that I could actually have the Rocket Triumph as first bike. So when spirits really start to manifest and ground down your work, showing that your personality from, and I have no problem in saying this, I was as a weak version of myself as I could be. I always thought I don't have it to go through a new practice, to be into a new culture and having in so short time to figure it out, rules, silent rules, how to combine them together. And now your head is gonna go down. Yes. Oh, don't look at me like that. Yes. It went down. So all in that, in those, I will say months, because this happened when I turned 30, between my 29 and 30, the bike came to be. Yes, the Rocket 3, it's a very huge one. And a friend of my partner made actually the mistake to show me his bike. So I felt in love. It was just so red, so it had, that nostalgia when I was working as a demonic ceremonial magician, which I still do today, even if I'm more grounded towards other zones of going. So really spirits were like, yes, we build the foundation so good that you are so comfortable to dream big and don't be afraid. We healed that fear of start. Even the YouTube channel early here in the chat, for example, can be a testimony of how long this it take. And the United Virtues, greeting to you. Welcome to the stream. If you have questions, just pop them. This is a very, very improvised live stream. It's the first one ever done. So I walked into my pocket and opened the door. He was all calm and quiet, and I had to bother his calm with, I want the Rocket Triumph. He literally looked at me with this face. You and which muscles? The muscles that, when I told you they are micro muscles, they are getting better, And it was just like, it's not gonna happen. Let's get you some bike that's usually, they are more light, you're gonna enjoy driving. No. I don't want any bike that just, shows I'm very delicate. I don't like challenges. I says, give me an advice of something that is big. I can drive, but at the same time, it's gonna challenge me, because I know many will like, for a woman, that type of bike. I'm not a feminist, but I love challenges. And the life itself really, the life itself, let's say MC occult culture, tested me lately and in all these months so much that really got me to the point of I have no whatsoever fear of what comes next, or how many mistakes I could do, how mastering things could take on. And it really switched my mindset. So I was lucky that it came out of the blue, the Yamaha FJ 1000, and I almost slept the whole night hugging it outside, like Homer Simpson do in an episode when he got a new bike, and he got inspired by James Dean or some movie which actually started. And immediately I was like, what can I put has protections, has enhancing on it? So I decided that this whole winter is gonna be mainly into, let's just say, programming into, in a spiritual mechanical sense, what the bike is gonna have as relationship with me, how we're gonna ride together. And this came also from the idea to approach the philosophy of the MC culture, and the MC culture itself has some kind of collective egregore that came to be, and nobody knows just that it's a breathing, living, and sentient beings that could be approached as you will do with a spirit. That really changed it, and I cannot show it on camera because it's still drying up. I was actually starting to creating items connected to it, to have in the room, and to which talk to. And it really started to change also the energy in the house. Like literally one time I was in the studio and I could hear very, masculine, female voices around us, as this is nothing of spirits that I know. And the first time it was the bike from the garage starting to talking, and it wasn't that strong of a voice, but it was very interesting to see how out of the blue I just had its core components, heart, its spirits, just sliding into my ear with this voice and said, "Hello, what you doing?" And then it happened itself while I was driving my car, that I zoomed out for a moment, and this, how can I say, playful entity that I created, like probably Alan Moore himself, by using writing and his own studies of magic, which they are less energetical than the normal will be, started actually to talk to me actively. And I've noticed that Santa Muerta, on the other, will just stay silent. It was like the elephant in the room coming in, and just everybody the silence, because they knew that the superstar, let's just say, poor term, superstar was coming in. So I just started to talk to her as I will do, respectfully with a new person, introducing myself, say, "Hello, my name is Alice," which still also in this live stream, you will say, "I know better. I forgot to say hello, by the way, my name is Alice." Liz. And hello, Dr. Xerox, Xeron Free. So good to see you. Hello there. And just introduce to her, and then say, "I don't really know how we're gonna do this, because it sounds even extremely controversial for me that I accepted the challenge of spirits to create something out of it. But please don't just start to help me very easily, like it happens when we are new. Spirits really, when we are new to magic and new to philosophy, they want to help us to immediately starting to make up the basis." And it says, "Please don't do that. may I actually find my way to earn your trust? And so I basically start to talk to her 24/7 as if she would be a real person standing here or follow me around for the days or going to parties. And then I put it also mentally that pressures of not having any boundaries with spirits. I don't have any boundaries. They are always free to channel in me. Please, if you're a new magician, don't go for it. It is very, very, very energy draining. And if you are practicing like me into an organic way, it's gonna take your time. You're gonna have to take your time to find a way actually that works for you and can work for others. And yes, pretty much like I said, occultism and bikers teach you about your limits and go behind them, but with respectfully power and consequences. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will say it grounds that mentality even more. Because if you really start to approach spirits as real people that could literally walk in and out any moment from the door and just stare at you, and having that healthy pressure of, if I will walk over the table, I will walk over there and ask them, are you proud of what I'm doing? Are you proud of my achievement? Are you proud that I completely have a little death of what I was before in order to fall better into this into your culture and philosophy? That really changed even the quality of the qualities that I wanted to be into this person. And so it was very, very challenging, all the time, having to pretend that somebody will be looking at me, still giving me advices, very little sometimes. If I would be talking, it was like, don't do that, don't talk over these two people because look at their status. Is that right pronunciation? Yeah. At the status and all, or just don't say this, don't start this type of conversation, don't walk over there, help that friends of yours that might actually doing something that might look nasty. And of course also Santa Muerte, she gets very talkative, at least when I was there. She was also helping and showing up. So I really noticed that respect when I was just practicing from a normal occult perspective. I will be achieving the same quality of great work. It just incremented completely when, as Freya Pezel said, I brought together this grounded concept. And I'm so sorry if this live stream sounds this so difficult. They are so challenging cultures. And like I said, there is not so much out there that basically the majority of my researches and work as a occult biker has been done and is still done mainly channeled down. So, and of course, then checking with my partner if the knowledge is applicable or not. He's not into occult. So, did the void speak in English? Good question. Good question. It depends. Sometimes was in English, sometimes was in Spanish when it came to Griselda, El Blanco, and Santa Muerte. I can actually speak a little bit Spanish because it's a sister language to mine, to Italian. And so it was very, very easy to understanding. And just sometimes if I'm approaching them, now Griselda Blanco, it's up there. You cannot see it on the camera. It moved because the whole studio got revamped. So yeah, sometimes I have moments in which I'm just talking in English. Other times I'm talking in Spanish, Spanglish, we can call it. Spanish mixed with English. So I will say that it's interesting, and definitely it can't happen, and I think it will happen if you are actually somebody that can talk different languages. Spirits really love them. And spirit that might have in their culture their own grounded language, their own, native language, we can say. And there's actually another video explaining the background of Santa Muerte from an outlaw and occult perspective on the channel. It's a little bit stranger because it is in black and white, but I wanted to try something different. So yes, I will say if you just speak English and not other languages, definitely English is it's gonna be the language that you're gonna go for. If you speak more languages, well, I will say delete Duolingo because they are gonna find their way to train you. And it's okay if you're never gonna master it in a fluent way, you know that you just will be able to speak, I don't know, just in Spanish. You can mix the two languages as long as what you are doing adds values to the table, to your practice, to your persona, and it helps also those around you. This is why I love also the affirmation that Alan Moore said in an interview, or it was a documentary, that it is the responsibility of whomever dabbles into magic as a magician and starts willingly to put out their services, helping and say, hey, come and I can help you, to not turn into just an advertiser. So to degrade the powerful and inspiring world that it's magic, that it's any kind of philosophy, any kind of values, to some just, watered mass marketing way to go. Because it just, I think, bring down the qualities and the importance of this. And today there are so many channels out there playing safe too. Also playing safe was something that the culture itself, yes, underlined it to me, but at the same time, it was kind of like play safe only when you have to. If you are very unsure and you are in that position that you want to make questions. But an important thing, there are no stupid questions with spirits. If you work in a normal place, I will say after 5 years, there's a high chance that there are stupid questions. So that can be done. But there are no stupid questions when you're starting because you're gonna be new. Let's just say that. You're gonna be new. Mistakes are gonna happen. But rather than, just intuitively jump and don't get a confirmation if your intuition was in place or not, have the humbleness and the braveness to actually ask for guidance, be it to spirit, be it to your brothers, be it to somebody that has been in a life and it is retired. Really dare to, because it is appreciated. It shows interest, it shows effort. One cannot join, I will say, a lifestyle that is extremely intense and it's extremely, not for everybody. Like being a MC club or be also an occultist without putting in the right efforts, which means understanding what you are getting into. Why are you getting into this? And how to move, how to talk, how to roll, how to think. And even when you are constructing something as a tool, because why we don't need tools for practice magic? We actually still can craft them by ourselves. The more you are showing commitment, the more you are showing that you want to be a sponge, a learning sponge. Seriously, think of, I want all you in the chat, let's make this in an active way. Think to be sponges and somebody throwing you into an empty bucket and just pouring knowledge on you. And you just have for your own greater good and come out from the bucket, assimilate it, taking notes that probably most of the time they won't even make sense to you. But it will just work. I cannot promise that it will work 100% for everybody that are non-canonic like me, but it worked out for me doing this way. And every person around will just shift that mind. Probably you will go through that phase. I'm not going to reply to questions immediately because in our culture, we pretty much reply openly to questions and help each other. But in a culture that it's heavily grounded on learning and bring this to the table, to the occult culture, even spirits, a lot of time when I will make them questions, will be like, yeah, that's a good one, but I'm not gonna reply right now. I told you to do I don't know, a video. I told you to keep going with researches or go through the task that we gave to you. So let's see you later when this is gonna happen. But with the time, they are putting in questions and effort and trust and gaining the trust. You really want to earn the trust of those spirits of yours or not. And just because you have been working with them for a long time, it doesn't mean that you have it completely. It's really all about developing and taking the time to understand fully where they come from, the essence of it. And I noticed now the comment, sorry, Mountain, you cannot see, but my computer is on the table, so the chat is a little bit hidden. I'm sorry. So Griselda Blanco as in the godmother, that's interesting. Yes, as the godmother, or one of her nickname that I love is La Colossa, the Colossus, or Muñeca de Porcelana. Was it so said in Spanish? Was it so? Yes, thank you so much for the confirmation. And yes, there's also a video on the channel talking about this. It was very unpopular, and she was actually the person that really during my hang around phase changed completely my way. Also, to give for granted that immediately, just because I was be pleasing this egregore that my mind created in order for me to be able to learn and empowered from there, I was just approaching like a new magician will do. Oh, you came, you're the right spirit. I got success, so I guess you are trusting me and I'm trusting you fully, completely. Let's see where we go from there. No, she was actually the one that straight say, I don't know you, you don't know me. What makes you think that for how much I could just, like you by skin, I'm gonna actually giving you immediately teachings? Because I really presented myself after I went through the prejudice that I have on her with my book, a pen, and I was ready to go. And I says, okay, you can write down handmade half possessions of my hand, which means just your hands gets possessed rather than the full body. And they like it happen, the magical works of mine. And that was interesting too as history, because it wasn't planned. So I literally find myself like, aha, so what do you want me to do? And he ended up into, let's just having daily talkings where we talk about everything that comes and we go from there. So it was also straight starting with, you're nobody. You're starting from the lowest step, even in the occult world or spirit world. And then you have to rebuild again all the connection that you had previously done. So also Santa Muerte vibed the same way with that philosophy. And it was very funny because these two usually allies up and complicate my, having successes for the purposes of growing process and testing me more than it's necessarily. Yes, I know I'm gonna hear about this after the live, but what can you do? What can we do? Nothing. So, and Santa Muerte pretty much was just said, okay, then you're gonna do the prospect phase with me. So where you get more close to the understanding of how combine together these two philosophies, and it's going to take its time. So pretty much they also helped me. And I don't know, guys, what you do for work, but if you have just started artistic projects of your own, and they didn't immediately turn it to be the sensational new break grounding and economical free you that you were planning, there's a chance that your mindset is something also that you have to completely rebuild. Because in this case, I was told actually that our practices don't shape only the people that we are, they shape also every single other aspect of our life. So I would probably say that if I didn't maintain on my promises to spirit to share my practice and possibly helping people through it and the knowledge gained, I would probably have more easy going into it, because it will just hand there to my little microcosm and the people around. And instead, in this case, it was like very difficult, because I had already the go-getting mentality for be just another the normal occult business out there, and instead they were like, no, 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 we're not doing this way. We are doing what spirit says. And another thing, they forced me also to swallow down my ego, which she wasn't destroying it, but humble it and improve it, and teach me the art of patience, the art of not rushing it, of no totally, worrying about things immediately falling into place, and rather the look at this like, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna find a way to help it. So that's why I'm also so straight talking into videos about mistakes that I have done and how, the, for example, the content is doing right now. Now, just because I really love what I do, and I really love all the lessons that spirits lately have put me through, have taught me, and I saw that I literally started to earn micro victories, because we talk all the time. I'm sorry, my hand is about to die. And we talk all the time about huge victories, to celebrate huge victories of ours, but we never really, I feel, at least for what was my journey, just into the occult, we really don't have anybody that just said, if you manage even with one video, and High Ninja Realm and 1111 user, yes, it's very cold here, just in my studio it's not this cold as it could look like, but if, like I was saying, if I inspired even one person to wake up, like we were talking with Lee, having that awakening, hey, there is more to this life than what society told to us, than what our parent told to us, our previous surrounding told to us, then I can call that a victory, because then somehow I helped somebody out there. And the purpose also of this channel was mainly to create something and something for people that could be interested in a new approach and of occult and rolling into the MC culture, but at the same time helping even people that might be around in the world and just don't want to come out, to say, you're not alone. There is somebody else that just decided to create content and see how it goes, and possibly, creating also private experiences for people to drive more into this practice for just help. Sometimes, if you don't have the materials out there ready for you to go and roll and figure things out, it might happen that you're going to be that person. so to create it. And it was actually funny when I saw first haters coming in, like, this is a new channel. This is like, nothing that big already that it's going to bring you any satisfaction. And the life itself, I'm practicing this type of magical upbringing, magical philosophy. This is going to be a challenge for the next week. Actually, find a definition for this path. It taught to me also to be respectful even to people that wouldn't then show it to me, because I know that it's something that you have heard, but at the same time, we really never know what people are going through. And I'm of the idea that if somebody lies in, for example, and tell you, I haven't learned nothing from you, the next question that you will want to them to make to them, rather that just jumping very fiery, or go get a black candle and a chicken or whatever it is that you use and start to axe them and put them out from the talking, should be okay. I hear you out loud there, but what did you expected? What haven't you learned? So, always leaving the ground, at least from my side, in the best condition and in the best blood possible. And this with spirit too. There is a very low amount of disrespect and, mistakes that they can take. And this could be also the reason why sometimes they go completely silent. So the famous most questions that we see a lot on social media is from people, all of a sudden these spirits went silent, I have no more knowledge, my practice is gonna die. There is a high chance you might have done something to them, and this is not the only reason, but if I think in a term of relationship and knowledge, there is probably some mistake that you have done that for that spirit in particular, not maybe all the others of the spirit world itself, it was just too much. So yes, it's very important to celebrate and also write it down and having some kind of diary, and learn also how to help your depression, because both the occult culture and MC culture, they come also from a history that, let's just say, it's not clean from pain, from depression, from states of mind that normally people will actually avoid. So it is important that when we start completely from zero, or we rewind together what has been our practice and says, okay, now it's the moment to switch to something new, to start from building the mindset. And it's okay if it takes you 1 month, if it takes you 1 week, if it takes you a couple of days, it's okay. And I will say how to do this. Well, first and foremost, ask your spirits if you are an occultist. If you are not, and you're just somebody into the MC culture, well, look at what other people are doing and try to understand why certain qualities are considered more higher and more important and mandatory respect to others. And then look at yourself inside and try to understand if you actually have what it takes to develop them, because it will require to take out from your persona everything that you previously built up as a work, and then just substitute it with new things. So this might look like, not any new knowledge coming to the table, but it's a very underestimated one, because in the moment in which we allow a whole system, a whole philosophy on life to change us, it's going to inevitably having consequences on our surrounding, on the perception that people have about us. And there again, we will be calling to learning to actually act, for example, as a tiger will do, stopping to caring about how there's our perceiving us. And it's a very transformative experience going through having mentally to kill everything that you have been and just going the first days, has an empty jar. So I empty book, and it's so strange because I don't know you guys. Please reply to this question and let me know if I was the only one that went through this. In the moment in which I decided voluntarily by myself to, yeah, it actually sounds like shadow work. It's just very more different and strange shadow works to itself. Like I said, when it comes from a non-canonic background, nothing it's actually labelable, I will say. You just go through things, and I wake it up during the night feeling completely empty. I wasn't happy, I wasn't sad, nothing. It was just like be a Tesla robot that somebody will have to fill in with, commands, learning new things, even about myself, about my persona. And I am programming my brain to become some kind of conscious AI training. I don't know if it makes sense, but emotionally, I was grounded in a sense of nothingness, of great nothingness, from which I had the feelings that everything will just come out to be in time. I don't know if it happens to you. It's very, very strange. Yeah, and like Montani says, it comes as a revelation, and it's a returning feelings. Absolutely, absolutely, because we are doing psychological work on ourselves, which is completely different to be in a contest where you have an external person. So actually, helping you out to figure out things and gives you teachings, techniques to try and see what works and what doesn't work. It's completely different when it's just you. It's gonna also mess a little bit with your mind. I will say that a negative side, it's for somebody that is completely new and just jumping into, uncanonical way to practices, and so leaving the safe way alone. I will say that it could be very difficult understand what to do with this type of energy, with this type of psychological working. Mainly because our mind is gonna be switching all the time between, okay, now I'm stabilized and now I'm going up pitfall. And now again, I'm gonna be stabilized, and then again, we're gonna go down. I would say that it's gonna take probably a couple of weeks. At least for me, it was a couple of weeks rather than a whole month of looseness. But I just love it. And actually, it's funny that I'm checking now. We went over 1 hour, and probably you're gonna be tired, guys. I think to hear me blabbling like there is no tomorrow. Uncomfortable question that streamers should never do to the people in the chat. And thank you so much to everybody that showed up and is bringing up questions and new knowledge. I love when plans came together, and I get to learn even by people that I just met even on a line way. So let me know, guys, if you want to go a little bit over the hour. We yet did it, but you know, let's just lie about that. If you want to continue, otherwise, like we can stop this camera here and let's see maybe next week to get together again for a live. So Montani says, I will actually say that that it's again this computer needs to go away. That the act you do consistently, no matter how small, is better than more extravagant ritual. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. That Montan, please clap to yourself. And everybody, let's just give a virtual clap to her. Let me put my Santa Marta down. She's actually very heavy. It doesn't look like, but she's actually very heavy. Please don't hate on me because I'm putting you into a new place and in a strange position. And down pill 7. Welcome here. We are over the hour. Where let's see how long people want to go. This to go. So welcome here. It was very nice. Down pill altitude. I have that little exchange of knowledge with you in the comments. I think it was under the occult riders, the live that I made with Arlie. So yes, absolutely. So let me tell you this just straight. Nowadays, social medias, and I've been there myself. I've been there myself. It's a sin that I've done more than all the others, I will say, as a mistake. Bombard us with this high aesthetic, needing to hunting, for the last fashion tool, or creating something that is visually so majestic that we are then gonna throw it, has a thumbnail, has a desktop background, or the pictures of the day on our social media, and even showing to people that could be just exclusively tied to us, and get into the mentality that we need complexed and overworked setups, so that it basically takes away what magic is. And I look at magic as art. You can make art literally even with just drops of water and a blank paper. And then lately just maybe take, a pen and go to draw around, connect them and see what comes out. So also that itself is magic. But immediately for somebody that it's new, going completely extravagant, or for somebody that it's just into a club, go fully extravagant, like pretending to act like I'm a member, which if you are a prospect and I hang around, it's not the case. Just, push it so much that we actually are unable to manifest anything, even just a small achievement, because we are so caught into create the new movie of the moment that we get in the middle of our own manifestation. That's a lot. That can really even get into the middle, like just say, if I will go in the garage and start to make any magical work on my bike, and then allow my mind to just free dreaming between the sky and just think, oh, but I'm literally just putting my hands on the bike and talking to the bikes and tell to her what I want her to do. So losing the sight of what I'm doing. Actually, fun fact, and think that many people will actually charge for, but because I love you all and I'm so grateful that people actually show it up, and I didn't have to ramble like an old lady, the crazy lady on YouTube for 1 hour. Where is you can actually program an object, even a vest, even a patch, whatever it is that you want to work on or bringing with you, or you are literally gonna use for your practice consistently. If it's something that you know that you are not gonna use it in the long term, don't waste your time. That it's the famous, what I call even with spirits, knocking on the door and then collaborate, come out, and it ends there. But if it's something that you're gonna use it for the long time, you could just literally place your hand or hold it in your hand and do some talking. So telling actively, as you will talk as a person, the first time is gonna sound completely BS. universal magical BS is probably. But with the time, it's just eventually gonna grow on you. And just tell to the object what are your expectations. Why are you doing this? In which way you want to work together, you want to roll together, you want to write together, for example. But for prior puzzle, prior puzzle, and then like blow in its direction and make sure that your breath is actually hitting the object. So it's basically activating, or we can say build a soul to it. And it can happen like we said many minutes ago, probably, if not hour, that all of a sudden while you're just minding your business, play video games, or just having a moment, no spooky things coming my way, hearing that object channeling you and be like, hello there, what do I do now? And just having you like, where did this come from now? Did I do that? Moment. Yes, yes, that material girl mentality. We all had it. We all had it. If somebody tells to you that it's not a thing, it is. So Dumpel says, like my patched up vest and accessories. Sometimes people want my shit, my shirt, and want to borrow my diamond. That I forgot when I mentioned patch. Thank you, Dumpel, that you bring this knowledge. Thank you so much. That's why this channel exists. Finally, somebody from these two cultures coming together and helping each other. Patches are an extension of the club, are an extension of its soul. And for a member, his colors, the vest, or we can call it poorly said, the gear in my case, like this and the black gloves. Oops, showing the inside of it. They are more than just an object, and people that are outside the culture just see them as some kind, open pop culture, mediatic thing that everybody can touch, everybody can make questions about them. When for these people, it's what I will say an altar and a book of shadows or a workbook, or like you want to define, is to a magician. It's our heart, it's our living core. So it really depends. There are places that allow you to touch the patches, just if you're saying hi, it could be okay. Personally, I wouldn't do that out of utmost respect. So in that case, vest and all is something that you cannot ask to somebody to show. No, I will say even to my best friend, let's share my altar together. Rather, let's work together on the floor on another side. It's just something that it's grounded into to the mental health even of that person. And yes, the back patch is like an egregore. It's so the back patch. I'm gonna work on learning how to start to pop things. Do you say pop things? Pop things on the screen. Because yes, sometimes you can be 30 and have geriatric moments catching you up before the time is actually required. The back patch is usually a system of 3 patch. You have the top rocker, which is the name of the club, and then you have a central pieces, which is the logo, and also my camera now going to China by itself. Hello, Sandy Black. I didn't forget you. I saw it now. And then you will have the bottom rocker, which is basically the, how can I say, it can be the country where the person is coming from, or sometimes it's a little bit more specific from where they're coming. And usually that is like one of the most powerful and visual, yes, local. It depends. I've seen also international. I've seen also that. I've seen in some cases. So that it's like a visual statement for everybody else. Well, let's just say energetically, fire puzzle, yes, it is territorial. It really depends. So I wouldn't say that it is so territorial, because if I look at comparing to what could be the perspective for a person into magic, definitely, for example, in the case of an altar, yes, that will be off ground for anybody else. Or even, I usually don't like when people touch my vest, even if it's not MC related, that, because I still feel it like a skin, something that I don't want energy of a certain type remaining stuck. Also, because usually sometimes in all movies you will see, like in Bike Riders, if you haven't seen it, it's a very good movie, and for somebody that knows nothing at all about motorcycle culture, it's very easy, because you have a lady actually doing interviews, and they are going through all the basis terminology and concept of what it is the life, what it means, be related also somebody that it is in the life. So it's they are usually made of denim, but sometimes it can be also made of leather. So this is, I think it is leather. I hope it is leather. But it's just like a second skin. So it's not even something that you could easily take away from a person. So that's why I see it becoming like off ground. And it's perfectly okay. And different thing, even asking about walking, I will say, to a spiritual house of somebody, or studio if you have one, you know, just saying, what is that? What is that? So making specific questions about the person business. I will actually avoid doing that, and maybe allow just the person to get down into his own territory. So doing some explanation and opening a little bit the ground for conversation. And so I'm actually so excited to see that finally we got people from both the culture to talk to each other. I'm so sorry, guys. It really, really, really surprised me. I mean that I was ready to stop the streaming and got to 1 hour. You never know what happened. So I wrote around a lot again. Bandidos, syntaxes, and I learned a lot, so I could interact safely and respect. Well, I I found actually that a lot of the value that the MC culture has, and they are pretty much also the same of the how it is of the occult culture, just I would say a little bit more deep understanding. They can be learned easily also by interacting with these people. And one of the reasons why it makes my heart so sad that somebody could actually try for misunderstanding or not fully understanding of how much about respectful, about unity, about sense of identity this culture has, and that can completely ground down more even whatever type of, how can I say, lifestyles, life going lessons, the basics books, even from Alistair Crowley, Lavelle, whomever else you already could give you. You can learn that by interacting with these people. And these people, and I met the most incredible, functional, productive, inspiring, and amazing people. Thanks to the chance to go to open parties or just meet them and talk with them. So it is really, really a challenge. Definitely think even to the hypothesis of a world losing using this, because I know that right now probably the content that I made on this channel, they are very strange. They might sound so strange because nobody else is out there doing it. So I understand also people, criticizing the idea itself, the process itself. Or somebody made actually fun of me had just this year two bookings, which I'm really not about money as many other people will be, because seriously, it is so difficult to combine, and there's a lot of information also that cannot be leaked out due to respect that I have for these amazing people that makes my life completely be a whole adventure for the positive, and actually helped me by just being friends with them to break down toxic cycles and toxic people, and have completely different way also even to look about having a business. So it's like, why would we want to lose any type of culture that can inspire humanity if studied for the greater the good and not ill intended? I always say there is no evil culture, there is no evil type of magic or type of work, as long as you make it become that way, as long as you use that knowledge into the wrong way. It's like, why we will want that when right now, like early in many other the videos commented, and I mentioned her not because just of the live stream that we made, but also because I love to appreciate the work of other people that have inspired mine during the years, or still also people that they are not into this culture and they just have very good simple philosophy out there. As she said, in a time of uncertainty, on a time on where constructed system don't really work anymore because we don't know what's happening. We can feel it. We can sense it. We can see strange manifestations happening, or if it happens like me, seeing shadows that, shifting. So having basically shadows following you, people behave in a strange way or be attracted to you. So it's somehow I have the feelings that what is coming, it's gonna be more of a non-canonical approach. So learning from all the possible inspiring cultures that we know ahead. And I will say before to just, jump into mix matching like you will do on a Christmas tree, like you will do in a Christmas tree on a Christmas tree. Have a reading about that. You have a reading. If somebody says that you cannot pull cards for yourself and read for yourself, you need self, it's actually wrong. Have a reading, and then if you are very, very still unsure and skeptical about it due to major forces, because these are major forces, and then undetected major forces and undefined, then go and have a checkup with somebody that actually has a little bit more of experience into the field. And if it is the case, everything that can elevate you and the people around you to a whole new awareness, a whole new level of understanding of themselves, of what's going around, and that can change their life, then absolutely go for it. I feel this is going to be actually how this shift of energy wants to be approached. And for those that are canonic ones, keep doing your things. Just remain open mind. And for the people that seemingly we have here that I don't know, Friar and Ampio, if you're actually are just into the MC culture or you are actually into both, that's interesting. You can do the same if you don't want to adopt an occult vision, studying and come up with whatever that culturally add values to your table. Well, so this is a time of deep transformation. And it's in an it isn't something that is skippable. And if you see me, guys, be a little bit unsure what to say, it's because in my mind I'm doing a lot of screening about how to say things because I'm extremely straight talking and brute and brutal way to say. So I'm trying actually to say things in a nice way that it doesn't hurt anybody. This so even if you're just into, I have a knuckle practice for sure. I love that. See, spirits were right. I'm not actually the only one that to doing this. Kudos, 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 kudos. Thank you so much, guys. Sorry for the untrust. But shenanigans are gonna be shenanigans. So just actually really focus on changing first yourself. This is the secret. A lot of time we just jump into thinking because we want to belong to them, but we don't put any thought about what we are doing, why we are doing this. And then we can enter, let's say, into a stage of, okay, I awaken myself, but then I end up again into sleeping because I wasn't ready. I didn't keep that spirit of adventures alive. I just allowed it to, again, leave the place, leave the house. And that doesn't even help in maintaining strong cultures like this alive or being seen as positive, under a positive light, because whatever we do can have enormous impact on this. And then why also misunderstanding that could bring to the cancellation of a world culture could happen because misunderstanding. Because us making this looking like living jokes is something that we don't need in order to evolve. And so, yeah, also the metal component. There's a lot. As bikers, I've seen people listening all the kind of metal. I don't know if somebody likes Dimmu Borgir, but at least the album Aeonian, it's heavily packed with occult concept. You don't have the money to to buy books because you're starting out or you want to start out into this crazy ramble of me at this point in the live stream. But you love metal music. Well, we do have YouTube, which is seemingly free unless you don't want to go to the premium music version. And literally just having fun while you're listening metal, so you don't overwhelm yourself with forcing you to get into something that is still sounds extremely skeptical to you and extremely new. You just try approaching it very, friendly and easygoing. But you could actually ask to people, do you have any metal band that could actually teach me a little bit the basis of these cultures just by listening it? And you don't have to take notes, or you don't have to spend a whole afternoon like I did, but I'm sorry. But I love of the heaviness of the task and concept. You don't have to take notes immediately, but just, have a start that forces you to think bigger and get yourself into more, how can I say, this resolve this crisis that we are gonna grow our hands. So yes, parallel society culture is where we should put focus, but that's a different kind of question. Yes, that it's a different kind of questions. Definitely, yes. And actually, this live was intended to be, more just a chill out live because it's the first time solo live about the channel. So I wanted just to keep it very open, like we did with Orly for the occult culture, and see where to go all together. So it gives me also, a better understanding of which type of knowledge and content rather than the other pull out there for the all of us be able to collaborate and actually help others around us or whomever could land on this channel to completely have a new vision. And the singer of the band, as a backing, might actually be in Answer Club. Good question. Good question. Because I do remember Chakra, the singer of Demo Borgir, be into Chrome Division, which was crafted up as music band motorcycle club, due to also the imagery that I have. And a lot also of motorcycle culture imagery has been heavily inspired also by occult, like my partner was actually mentioning this to me. And so yes, it may be. I'm not quite sure about this, but I think today that this today, guys, is enough as live stream because we are almost hitting the 2 hours, and it's not because I didn't enjoy the time together with you guys. I really do. And I hope also that this exchange between the two cultures keep going and growing. And if you know of people that can actually help the missions of it, please bring them. And well, thank you for your effort. I just love what I do and talk about my practice, what has been my experience and all. So for me, it's just, really, just come out, show up every day in the office and just try to figure things out. And it's just, normal. I'm just sorry for you that your ears are probably going to be bleeding. So thank you so much for everybody. If you need to have a private experience of something, here in the description, you're gonna find the link to my website, or otherwise you can just comment here in the comment section. And with the time that I have free, which is not so much because I'm always doing stuff, I'm gonna always try to reply to everybody as much as I can and as long as I can. And or otherwise, just send an email to info.imperialghost@gmail.com, and you can ask all the questions. We can have a little chit chat. It cannot be too long due to working on projects because, like I said in the post, I'm actually working on a series of interviews that have people both from the occult culture and the MC culture. And it's going to take some time to come to the channel because it's a huge project and it takes a lot of care. But this is actually gonna come. So I hope you have fun. And again, please give a shout out to your all. I'm so proud of you. Yes, that's actually correct from Italian. Grazie mille. Prego. Absolutely. And it was all lovely be with you. Stay safe and keep going with whatever you're doing. Don't let this harsh time, stop you to do anything. And remember that if nobody is showing up at the moment for you and to keep you going and giving you any sense of purpose, and you just have this feeling that it's all in your hand, you had it done, be the one showing up for yourself. I was actually literally ready to make a whole live stream of just rambling to a camera for 1 hour if nobody showed up. Yes, we are at that point of resilience, but bye, everybody. It was nice to see you. Let me see.